over the old white first. It's really hard to tell the difference and when the light hits it. So I'm going to pick up some old white, and I'm going to stay within my plane. I use my brush wide, and then I turn it to the side to get near the cracks. The white. And I'm going to kind of start playing with the white. The goal is to get it into the grain to look like it's painted, but not a whitewash. So now I just have to pick up a little bit of water. And I'm staying within the plank. And I'm going to kind of work the plank until it feels dry and laid into the wood. I can do this, I can go over to the other side, it's not a big deal. Just don't leave big, harsh.
Distinct.
Yes. So Taylor, compared to our other floors where we were leaving a lot of movement and stuff, we really want to work this into the wood. So I like variations of some of the wood exposed. So use your discretion when they pop up. See, I have a cool one over there, and a cool one there, and a cool one there. Not so much in the center, you guys, because a little bit here. We can recreate some of that with sandpaper if we need. So think of this as the end result, but possibly doing more. Okay, so now I have two colors on. I'm going to pick up my old white again. I'll just start this long one. So if I'm on two, in between two, it's okay. You just don't go too heavily on your other one. And if you do, you use a little bit of water to embed it so it spreads into the second one, okay? And it spreads into this one. So you don't want to use your full saturation of paint right on your joints. So then I'm going to pick up a little bit of white, pure white, because I'm already in the old white.
And that variation of the two colors is what's giving it this awesome.
It's just going to give it more of a weathered look, and then because we stained it underneath, it's giving a warmth.
Okay.
And it doesn't matter, you don't have to remember which color you did. Just try to vary your pickup colors. And just be mindful. See how the crack is kind of showing? I like that. Be mindful of how much water we're really putting on because it raises the grain so much.
Got it.
Okay, so then work yourself. We're going to work as teams, and we're going to come together in the center and probably work towards the back of the. Okay, the other thing is see how I have my brush mark?
Sideways, I saw that.
Yeah, we don't want any of that. So we almost work it until the paint is dry so we can get rid of anything.
Okay, I was
but
waiting
at
to
the
hear
same
that.
time, I don't want you to have to spend a gazillion hours on one plant.
Single board, got it.
Because we can always come back in and add more paint. But the goal is she wants it to look like a painted floor, not a whitewash floor. We might be on the verge of a whitewash floor, but in my mind it looks really good, and a clear coat is going to only richen it more. So we're going to do it this way, and then if we feel a need to add more, we'll make that decision later.
Okay, before we gloss it. Got it.
Yeah. So here, like if my board is really long, I'm always going to make sure I leave a little feathering that I can catch up to. Sandpaper will be our friend.
Okay.
And what I'm thinking, as we go, we can go a few deep and then sand and have the little dust broom around to pick up our dust. This will dry in minutes. I can start sanding that. So that way we're just kind of painting, sanding, painting, sanding, painting, sanding.
Okay.
And then it kind of all gets done instead of like, okay, now we have to come and sand the whole floor. I want it to look good more than get done fast.
We'll get done today.
Pardon me?
I think we're going to get done today.
Yeah.
What's up with that corner? Are we going to leave that?
I'm liking these textures. If I don't like them later,
You can put it.
I'll figure it out.
Thank you.
So I want,
But I'm not to do that. I'm not to do that.
you're
you
meant to make these.
Some of them.
Like
Okay.
here,
I love this one.
Yeah,
Yeah, you
that was
just-
like my favorite.
Leave a couple off.
Yeah,
Every-
so what it is it's really just the amount of paint that you're putting on your brush and how hard, like here, so this is kind of a cool little setup here. So I'll pick up some paint, but I don't want to kill my setup. So I'll come and chase it out a little and feather it in and go this way and leave some of this. So now I have some textures already created. If I get a little paint here, it's okay. Sandpaper will be our friend in a minute and it will soften
Tone
everything.
it okay.
And what that does is to help separate the boards, to make it
I
look
want-
more unique, to make it look like it's a painted floor rather than whitewash.
Yes, and I want these cracks to show up, which they will again show up when I
It's just
come
like a
in.
dresser, Robbie. Like, you remember how we were painting it yesterday to make it look distressed?
Okay.
It's the same exact. like,
Okay, very
Yeah.
cool.
you use less paint.
Okay.
You use less
So
paint,
these like different drawers.
but I don't want this little bit of
Yeah,
paint.
kind of like.
That's a
Oh.
whitewash.
Okay, thank you.
I need to, I need
Some paint on
it to be opaque enough to look like it's a painted floor, but unique enough to look like, wow, how old is that wood?
it. Yeah,
Okay?
okay.
So I think what we do is if we have 1, 2, 3, everybody works their centers down, always work to the end of your board, and then 1, 2, 3, and then all come in and help too, but then that way I can go get clear coat, we can get this going on, and then just don't get too far where we can sand, and then push, because it's super, super dusty, it's like drywall dust. I don't want that stuff
Shocking.
everywhere.
Okay, got it.
I'd rather sand in sections and get it picked up and out than to sand the whole floor and have a big pile of dust in here. Because we'll probably have to sand one more time lightly
At the
tomorrow,
end? Oh, tomorrow. Okay.
or at the end today, depending on what time it is and everything. So if your board is really long and you're working on other things, make sure you're not on a straight line and that you're feathered enough that when you do a hookup, in here, I don't see anything hooking up. I don't see any gent. I don't want to see anything inside of the
Okay.
panel but length.
Pretty much treat each board.
Okay, does that make sense? So, we'll make sure everybody gets a white and an old white. We have plenty of containers and sticks. Use a box or a piece of cardboard to move yourself around. A little bit of water. I filled the water up so you can just get water here and make sure that we have a sandpaper near you. And we're kind of all doing the same thing. That make sense?
Yeah,
Did I describe it well enough?
feel like it.
Now it's just a matter of not overthinking it, because you're not going anywhere, you're just painting this little thing.
Yeah.
There's no sense of urgency, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's all good, and
Well, I'd be a little scared.
don't be scared.